I love the discussion between Maui and Kassar down on the desk, trying to pick favorites here. One thing is for certain, this is going to be a brawly game with the nature of it, with the kind of safety net of a quarter-final berth for the loser. I think more risks are going to be taken here. I think more X factors are going to come into play, and so you don't want to take your eyes off the screen. We're going to find out in a couple of hours' time who's ascending to that semi-final.
Absolutely, and we won't have to wait long. It's a fast A play in this pistol round. ENCE run rampant into the bomb site, and Stown's got to shut it down from main. Pius, 2 picks on the entry, and Stown stuck. Sjuush has come in on a quick flank through the lobby, but the bomb's getting planted.
On with the dualies. Sjuush is going to look to open a way back into this for Heroic. They've spotted him now. Oh, and Stown dead over in main. Sjuush tried to get a move on through the heart. He's out of it. It's just cadiaN left standing here. 1v4. No chance to win this round. ENCE going to explode onto our screens with a fast upper hit in the pistol.
Yeah, this is going to be an exciting game, an entertaining game. I love the way you preface it with brawly Counter-Strike, with more risks being taken. But it's not a game that doesn't matter. It's not just a seeding match. I mean, we caught cadiaN earlier, and he was mentioning how, you know, they want the semi-finals. They want this spot badly just to speed run their way through playoffs. Heroic are no longer a team that don't have that stage experience, that, oh, they need some time to warm up for the arena. No, they have been there. They have done that. And now they want to get the T-shirt here in Cologne. It's a big tournament here for Heroic to start off this season, but it's a big pistol round for ENCE on their map pick. The head-to-head of Danish in-game leaders rages on. ENCE do love their quick top hits on Nuke. We will see more of them, but not in this round. It's just going to be outside with smokes. This is a fake, though.
Yeah, only one man crossing with them, and dycha won't get learned of. They won't discover him, so he's allowed to kind of play on his own terms down through secret here. Curious to see how Snappy wants to use him. What's his role going to be? Do they want him making noise? I see him pulling nades down there on the minimap, so he is trying to sell this lower presence. Keeping one man down there. He's going to return up secret, so it's the fake down lower with the upper hit. dycha looking to move in a little bit later. Sjuush up close. Won't be that man to find the opener. Instead, it's cadiaN Scout from the heavens, trying his best to reply. His teammates get overran, however. And trapped in the vent is Yabi. Gonna struggle to find a way back into this. This is what we mean, though. Not afraid to take a risk. Jiggling, trying, leaving it to chance. But he will just bow out. Heroic have to let this one slip on by. And so ENCE find this conversion versus the 4-spy. Let's try and talk about this a little bit, though. So, you know, I spoke to Heroic on that media there. I spoke with cadiaN a hell of a lot, actually, and he's kind of said, you know, being the team that reaches playoffs, being the team that gets to grand finals, being the bridesmaid and never the bride, it's cool and all, and it gives you a lot of experience, but he says he feels like this is his squad's time to win now. This is their time to really come together. And I think in light of so many roster moves having happened, you know, post-major, I think this is really the time where Heroic have got to showcase why this 5 is the 5, that they have that X factor, because that's been this squad's biggest problem, right? Getting these playoff runs, getting these deep runs in tournaments has not been the issue for Heroic. They've existed as this team to gatekeep the upper echelons of Counter-Strike, but they themselves very rarely get to taste the big victories.
Yeah, especially with, you know, more Titans knocked out in FaZe falling out today. I mean, it makes it a more open bracket. Sure, we have G2 and Vitality still looking hyper-competitive, but, you know, with every Titan taken out, it puts Heroic a little bit closer. But ENCE's form as of late has been just immaculate as well, right? For good reason, the desk was so split with ENCE coming just off of Dallas, looking so great to end the season. And I love how outspoken Snappy has been around ENCE's positions in tournaments and the partner teams and how they have, especially against the grain, proven themselves in this year alone. It's always been an org that we've credited with great roster pickups, not afraid to cut decent players for better upgrades. And in fact, you want to talk about that, you got to talk about the AWPA of Sampayas. It was last Cologne in 2022 where he made his run with Movistar. But hold on a second, suddenly it's just Madden. 1v4, they're all going to peek him together. He hits a spray for 2, but Heroic, while we're rambling along, pull out an eco round. They massacre ENCE on the top site. Blink and you miss it.
Crazy way for that to go. That was meant to be the easy round for ENCE. That was meant to be the freebie, but cadiaN with that saved scout puts it to work. And so Heroic immediately look to pose a bit of a threat here. ENCE realize this ain't plain sailing after all, and it's quite relieving to see these lobby lurks finally pull through with a bit of success for Heroic. They've been shut down early on in this game. We've had a lot of these rounds just kind of culminate with someone wrapping in through the lobby, getting sniffed out by ENCE. And so Heroic immediately make that a problem, immediately make that an issue.
Yeah, nothing like having 4 grand after the AWP here for cadiaN. Heroic suddenly buffed in the money department. ENCE are going to have to break through with multiple gun rounds here. Need to answer that eco win early. Going to see dycha looking outside on his lurk. Going all the way back to CT is that AWP. Still covering the cross. But as those smokes come down, of course, vision removed here for Heroic. They have preemptively rotated a player into B. Stown's moving through. That flash comes early. Stown can't actually do anything with it. Molly is in the way, but he'll make a peek regardless.
Flashes rain in outside, but it's Yabby to get caught first, and Stown is peeling back off these angles. He never plays on the back of that flashbang. Instead, the pixel spot, he's going to underhand the molly and just fall back, going through the motions down here in the lower defense.
That's fine by ENCE, as long as Sampayas, find something on upper, they can pull back completely from secret. They know Stown's stalling them right now. They're trying to find him. That molly is big. It's going to push him out of position. He's got to pick the door or the window. And the latter he goes, Sampayas. If he gets a vent lurk kill, they will come back up. If not, we might just see ENCE commit with this B play. Climbing up the ladder is high risk. And even though we said this game will be messy at some times, it's not a call ENCE want to make. This is a good move from them right now. There's no one inside of the B site. Stown has to allow the plant.
Oh, they've blown the doors off. That's going to give him an angle onto the planter. That is wild. Hang on a moment. Madden tried to plant the bomb for double door, and that's throwing everything into disarray here. ENCE have got to get the bomb back. dycha doing what he can, but there shouldn't be time for this. And he's caught crossing. Sampayas too far removed. And so Heroic, they will get that B site back under control. A bit of a misstep for ENCE. It felt like they thought they had the double door when they blow that open.
Was that their nade? Not Heroic's from ramp. I missed it. Either way, that's absolutely crazy for them to discount it, planting the open for Stown. They have a smoke on the side. They don't stick it inside it. Just a little bit out for Madden. And Stown absolutely tears them to shreds. Very nice reposition down lower. Made it look like he was running decon side, but goes all the way back to double. And ENCE are flustered already. They lose to pistols. They lose a planting player. And now Heroic establish their control on the CT side of this map.
Great to see Heroic competitive immediately. So now questions poised to ENCE. Continuing the conversation we were having though, right? I think the sort of argument that was being had down on the desk, Maui coming in with all the numbers and the stats, and man, like that's the golden piece of evidence if you ever wanted to vouch for Heroic, right? When you go and look at their track record here, this is a team that don't lose games unless it's in playoffs, unless it's in tournament runs. Only losses they have as of late, obviously that one to Mao's back at Dallas, and I think Dallas is a pretty interesting event to talk about when you look at these two teams. They were both there. And obviously ENCE went on to win that out in the grand final versus that Mao squad. So, the thing that's interesting is even though the numbers look really good for Heroic, even though this is a team that always make deep runs happen and like we say, kind of gatekeep the tier 1 and deny other teams that shot through playoffs, they're not normally the ones to lift trophies. And that's the question. Is the X factor missing? Because ENCE had it there at that tournament in Dallas. had that fantastic game as well versus FaZe in the playoffs. Here, they've opened with a man advantage.
Yeah, cadiaN not expecting them to swing before the smokes bloom, but ENCE play against the grain and they catch off the opposing AWPer. Sumpire going even further towards the heavens, but his team do have B control as well. ENCE once more leave options open, but which will they take? TeSeS catches that aggressive player. madden has retrieved the AWP, though a re-swing is dangerous. TeSeS can't escape his clutches, and now a 4-on-3 where Heroic feel the need to move aggressively, take back that lobby control, find that lurker. Nertz is not far off. Shush holds on. Back of the site is down, getting split from above, but madden has a big ticket item. He doesn't want to die with nothing.
His teammates are going to play into this first, and then madden looks to go. Overran in the back of the site is down, and now Shush holding on to this bomb. Yabi takes the heavens back, and they just cleared this. He's got the round right there. And so he'll rain down a death from above. Yabi makes it happen, hot on their heels from the ramp. And what a time to have him delivering. This last year, one of the worst performances that this look at the Heroic squad have had in Cologne.
Yeah, and
that was with a new look Yabi having joined the squad and posting a pretty poor tournament rating, it's fair to say. But he's had a lot of time to adjust to this team now, and he's become a key figure within it.
Yeah, it was a very poor rating, but he immediately recovered with a slew of fantastic tournaments, and the end of last year, which we can remember was very successful for Heroic, with Grand Finals, with World Finals as well, full finals rather, in Copenhagen going so well for them. So even though they took a short-term loss, it was a long-term gain. And the same can be said for ENCE, who have, as we mentioned earlier, consistently made cuts and seemingly the right ones, bringing in so many firepower pieces. We have double, triple lower this time. ENCE are not going to get this easily. They are walking right into a trap. Shush gets away with 2 kills, just trying to escape that Molotov. They don't have to respect it, and so they will not. Snappy chasing down this B kill. Shush committing to a spray, not punished. It might be a flawless round right now, as Snappy is on 2 health off of the wallbang.
And even though you didn't have a lot riding on this for ENCE, right? You didn't have a huge case to make in this with the force buy. They've often found damage in these rounds. They've often found a reason to make them exciting. But here, it's going to fall.
And, you know, you mentioned, just to contextualize what you said the other round about how Heroic have been, you know, so consistent and known as gatekeepers, and the team that don't get upset, to put numbers on that, since the Katowice Grand Final, right, where obviously they lose out to G2 at the start of the year, Heroic have not lost a BO3 outside of a playoff, with the exception of one group game against Big back at Rio. So that's unbelievable to think they've run every group stage they played, except one, absolutely flawlessly in this year since Katowice. So yeah, that's Dallas, you know, top 4. That's Paris top 4. That's Rio final.
Yeah, I was going to say, right, because at that Rio event where they do lose the big of the groups, they go on to make the grand final anyway and lose out to Vitality, a squad who would then go on to lift the major trophy. Consistency's not been the problem for Heroic. It's exactly, right? It's having that X factor, that extra 10, 20% that sometimes is needed to win a grand final. Something that, you know, a team, even like a FaZe clan, somewhat embodies. Sure, the results and how they go game to game isn't super consistent, but when you get them in a playoff run, when you get them in a playoff berth, something changes.
It's almost the opposite to Heroic in that sense, right? We sometimes see FaZe make early exits from tournaments a la Cologne right now, and, you know, we've seen it back at Majors gone by, but you put FaZe in a cathedral, you put them on the stage, and this team just feeds off the energy. Heroic certainly seem to be feeling more confident about that opportunity, though, and given they've already got a spot there, they're just fighting to speed run the playoffs. They're just fighting to skip a game right now. And right now, they are shutting out the eco of ENCE. They've had no problem dealing with pistols in this map. 5-2, 5 alive, and now ENCE need to come in with a response, or this first map could be a bit of a wash. Heroic are picking up steam with very clean rounds.
Yeah, I mean, since they won that third round with the save scout and pistol, they've not dropped the ball, right? There's been a couple of moments where ENCE looked like they were in it, where it looked like they could have left an impression. But Heroic have been the ones racking up the points on the scoreboard here. ENCE are going to try and move in over towards ramp. TeSeS about to be tested. He's set up, waiting for this, but that decision to go a little wide. He wanted to reposition over at ramp. The timing just couldn't be worse, and so it's Snappy to provide that opening for his squad. They barrel down the ramp. Stown is here fast. His teammate Yabi in the control room. Couple of kills, a bit of damage, but nothing to write home about here for Heroic. It looks like ENCE, with Snappy's opening over towards ramp, have successfully broken through.
Great shooting for ENCE, and Heroic had the read, right? That's 3 players dropping lower instantly off of losing the ramp guy. You know, not falling for any kind of fakes, not over reading the situation, but still Heroic can't win engagements down B, and ENCE break through with a confident round of their own, keeping it simple. Heroic even timeout, but money is not the problem here on the CT side. A lot of eyes on someone like Sunpius, who, as we already have said, came through with that incredible top 4 performance back in Cologne last year in this very arena with Movistar Riders immediately on the the booking list for ENCE. A huge upgrade, and even though Hades has found a lot more success inside of his full Polish squad, it was even a team that ENCE managed to take down in this tournament, despite the smack talk that the Poles were putting out against ENCE in that game. They were screaming at dycha all series long. But ENCE took it, and all the better for it, already in the playoffs with more to do.
Yeah, they want to try and go fast out into this A play, but now he's got something to say about that, doesn't he? Support in at the door as well. He's not alone in his battles here. And ENCE kind of have to respect this, right? You try your hand, you try your opening move, you let Madden off the leash, you tell him he can go do whatever he wants to try to get you this opener out through the door. And you get spammed down low. Nertz is even super wounded. So 2 players that, often can change the course of rounds for ENCE by taking space have been brought down low to open this up. That causes you problems immediately.
Ooh. Okay, he's been caught. That's a great grenade, though. He's going to catch Nertz, and he got flashed out by Stown. So fully escaped in a 5-on-3. cadiaN even gets down lower.
Re-smoking at the doors is frustrating. It's putting even more pressure on these outside players to be the one making a move, and that is kind of exactly what cadiaN is prepared for right now. That's exactly what he's hoping the reaction is from ENCE. And Molly's going to force him forward, but he plays ahead of it, fearless in his approach to the yard. A missed shot out of Sunpius' AWP, and suddenly it's just dycha left in a sea of Heroic players. Won't find anything to get a leg up in that clutch. And it's a flawless 6th for Heroic, right back on the board. As quick as ENCE appeared, they are gone.
These are such clean rounds when Heroic come through with them, and ENCE have been doing a lot of defaulting outside, but it's not been doing them any favors, right? Like you said, opening play doesn't work. They have to go back to the the whiteboard. They have to try and figure something else out, but Heroic just set cadiaN up beautifully in that round, double flashing him back outside through the Molotov. Playing very ballsy CS right now is cadiaN. Yabi again gets tested. This time Madden will succeed. Rushing out onto topside. Shush drops that bomb, but they're still in the middle of the site, and suddenly all of Heroic are here. TeSeS hits the ground, cracks his knees, and Stown with the bomb at his feet, finding dycha. The 1v1, he can't close it. It's up to the captain.
cadiaN in the 1v1, great position to find himself with the AWP. And he's often someone who excels in these clutch moments for Heroic. dycha on the other side, rerouting in through the lobby. He's trying to cut off any flow of information, and the longer he waits, suddenly the more places he can be. cadiaN has a lot to think about here. dycha is not making it easy for him. This slowdown has suddenly opened up so many paths that would have been written off. And so cadiaN's got to keep watching his back. dycha will just recommit back out the hut. cadiaN looks to move in, goes hunting for him, and oh, he's seen it!
Yeah.
Back turn on dycha! And so cadiaN delivers. He looks so comfortable in a round that dycha tries everything he can, every little trick in the book to just deny that flow of the info, to make it uncomfortable for cadiaN. But cadiaN doesn't fall into the trap, doesn't overestimate his opponent there, doesn't outbrain himself.
He really is one of the clutch kings of Counter-Strike. I mean, that timing is immaculate. The second dycha walks out hut and gives her rafters a quick clear, cadiaN then suddenly appears out of nowhere. And ENCE again go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, you know, I mean, one of the remarks we made early on about this game was expect it to be pretty brawly, and I think it's kind of lived up to that so far, but in my mind, it's in the kind of brawlier nature of this game that can work in ENCE's favor, right? Someone like Snappy can put a lot of freedom and a lot of faith in his team. That's something you spoke about before, how, you know, if he kind of respects the moves and he knows how you like to play, and you listen to him and you play within those confines, then yeah, you're gonna get your freedom, you're gonna get your movement, get to decide your opening moves. And I think that for someone like madden, you hope that that can lead him to be a bit of a wrecking ball in this series. So I hope that ENCE are down to embrace the chaos.
Yeah, ENCE don't jump the gun there. They wait patiently as the third smoke is a little delayed on outside. Stown gets a spot, but dycha gives up that they're still crossing behind the smokes by spamming, and Stown can just escape. Essentially no damage done, no harm, no foul. ENCE make it down lower. madden spotted still back behind red, taking his time, so he's just going to reset and return to the lobby with nerds. Again, Yabi down on B, this time alone, not supported by any entourage from Heroic. They're going to creep up on him. Oh, he tries to pick his shot, but somehow no connections. And with a molly in the vent, ramp is the only obstacle here for ENCE. They can get this plant down.
Going to be hard to have much of a say in this if you're Heroic. You don't even really know the numbers here, and if they had a bit more of a concrete image as to how many players for ENCE are still floating back in the lobby, they would look to give this round a go. Because they don't know that, saving is the best option they've got, and even then, they're not immune to being hunted down here. madden can hear them fanning out and saving. He's able to tell the rest of his team, like, they're not attempting this, they're not even giving it a go.
I think that's just a misread from Heroic, right? Thinking surely ENCE are going to adapt and start trying to run fakes, you know, go for lower control, which they have had many times, but actually don't end lower and either come up the vent or only have dycha down secret, and they go for an A hit. So Heroic still stack top site. It doesn't help that Yabi dies with nothing. He could at least confirm numbers, but he only sees one player and falls immediately. So at that point, Heroic just have to surrender it, hope for the best on their top stack. And ENCE get away with 4. Still pretty tight on this T side. Trying to come back and win the half. Another AWP. Pius has been leaning away from them in this T side. He's had 1. Nerds gets caught by the door swing from Yabi, supplemented by Molotovs for Heroic to deny the rush. Down over the top. Snappy finds him. TeSeS has seen the ramp play. He's late to this one, starting heavy on A to give them more utility. And so ENCE will get that ramp room. Does he want to allow this, though? He's keeping the pressure on, but no one's going to throw themselves back through ramp. And now it's up to ENCE to play the mind game. Do they commit to lower, as they usually have when they find this control?
Well, the Abster's down here right now. Last time ENCE went B, he was just that one player that even got to fight in the round for Heroic, and he fell short. This time Heroic want to give him a bit more of a helping hand, and that kill from TeSeS is going to help out monumentally. Suddenly a route is open for Yabi's teammates to be involved in this round.
Oh.
It's success all across the board for Heroic as TeSeS lines up a double. dycha might have planted the bomb, but he is boxed in and isolated, finished off. Heroic claps down upon that B site, and there are no survivors for this ENCE squad. They try to run back one of these lower plays, and this time Heroic are that much more prepared, that much more ready.
Yeah, I like how we're getting more life out of other players on Heroic as well, right? TeSeS starting to become a bit more of a loudmouth, screaming in that round. And I think the more the merrier. The culture is setting in across this squad for Heroic. He even talked about it in a recent interview, obviously about cadiaN and that Mongols matchup. And yeah, it's a percentage play, as they call it. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it hurts, right? Sometimes it can motivate your enemy, but if it can give you that slight advantage, if it can ruffle the feathers of ENCE in any amount, it's worth it for Heroic to take that risk. 8-4, and ENCE have used 3 timeouts already. So they're feeling a little flustered in this T side, certainly. Not getting away with as much as they would have wanted. Some very clean rounds out of Heroic. But still time to recover the half.
There is time to turn this one around, don't get me wrong, but I do want to home in as well on Nerds here, who is, usually a standout player for this ENCE squad, usually a safe pair of hands. But he's had a very strugglesome time to get the ball rolling, and so I want to keep an eye on whether or not he's able to embark on that journey to recover in this map. Because ENCE are going to need him, not just now, outside of this series. By the time they get to those playoffs, quarters or semis, you're going to need everyone firing on all cylinders.
Without a doubt. And Nerds was, when he debuted for ENCE versus Yabi's debut for Heroic, it was incredible for Nerds back at Pro League. 1.4 rating in that playoff match. He will have to perform in this round. They're rushing him inside of the lobby. Heroic is still down a man, but Madden has that space and he knows where they're coming from. They walk right in clueless. 4-on-2. And Madden even slips back into the lobby to reunite. Snappy gets caught out in the open. Stown surely not.
He shouldn't win this. He's got everything going against him, but that kill on the bomb plant maybe could have given him an edge. Madden proves too much to bear. He's just freestyling around that top site. He recognizes how much room he had. And so, this is at least a step in the right direction for ENCE. Now going tit for tat across these last few rounds, trading them back and forth. That feels a little more sustainable if you're ENCE over on the T side. And on top of that, a lot of it is being spearheaded by Madden, who you're seeing put in these very outlandish positions. And I think that comes with the brawlier nature that we expected from the matchup, right? He's already a player who likes to make these big moves. And that's only going to be amplified when you feel like you have somewhat of a safety net on the series.
Freedom to take risks. ENCE again smokes outside. This is the change though. They're going back into the lobby. dycha might be tasked to come in on a main split, and for once, Heroic don't gamble a player down lower. They've read this, it seems like. They don't seem convinced by the fake smokes. There's no Yabi, no Stown down in secret. And once again, walking into the stack. TeSeS starts to rotate ramp. That frees up cadiaN to AWP in that position as well, but there's still 3 CTs in this top site. Just dropping off the hut roof, but is that the wrong time? This re-aggro is dangerous.
Oh, this timing missed over at the door, but Stown got to bear this in mind. They're going to smoke him off at main, so he's never open to this push. His teammates learn about it the hard way. Even though Stown's going to reclaim one, I don't know if this entices Heroic to want to give the round a look in.
That's Heroic staying active, right? It's something we talk about a lot on this CT side. They love to make moves. They don't like to be sitting back and waiting. And even though they weren't convinced fully to drop heavy lower, they still got curious towards the hut. If they keep that double hut roof setup, that could have gone very well for them as ENCE slip out into the A-bomb site. But they push right into the patient open lobby, and they give ENCE a reason to commit on top. And a couple of well-placed entries for ENCE will win them the round. As they look for a 7 on a T side, nothing to turn your nose up at. Oh, that could have been a massacre. And Heroic, it will have complications here for their buy. They're not going to have 5 rifles, not even close. Oh, they're dropping FAMASes. I take it back.
Everyone always sleeps on the FAMAS.
Yeah, I don't class it as a rifle.
Fair. Although not, because it is, but... Yeah, this was a nice round for ENCE, man. Like, you know, like you kind of highlighted already, it relied on the reposition of Heroic, but ENCE still found the perfect gap and exploited it in that moment. Easier said than done, and now that's going to lead them to close up this half
I love
here.
this call. They know they've been getting so much room on ramp early because Heroic have been stacking topside. Think about that round that TeSeS isn't even here. And cadiaN again, he has no clue how far they've gotten. They walked through the ramp smoke. Complete disrespect from ENCE. They read Heroic like a book and they shut it in their face. 5-on-3, picking that B player, and now Heroic is scrambling, panicking down lower. Down trying to save the day. Needs a pristine headshot here to find the bomb, but Nerds is not giving it to him.
He knows, Heroic know how big an opportunity this is. Yabi was not dedicated anywhere else on the map. He was beelining straight for the bomb. They know they could still win this by getting this bomb under their control. However, now it's just Yabi, and they go running him down. ENCE are quick to patch this wound, and they will close up this first half. It's neck and neck. ENCE chaining together 3 to at least salvage something going into the second half of Nuke.
What is your calling?
Heroic Heroic came in here and showed supremacy early on in the matchup. They were up 7-3. ENCE felt like they couldn't get anything going, but they finally find a bit of leverage, a bit of purchase towards the end of the first half, and they managed to close it out, split right down the middle at 8-7. This is now anybody's game.
Yeah, and while the desks were divided on the map pool masters of this matchup, it is 100% win rates for both teams in the last 3 months. A streak of 9 for ENCE, a streak of 5 for Heroic. Despite that, ENCE is still keen to pick into it. Even though Heroic have wins over some serious top dogs in Na'Vi and FaZe, ENCE feel like they have the data to play with. And Nerds trying to wake up into this map. He was 2-11 a few rounds ago. He starts off this pistol strong. A required player for ENCE to win this game today and head straight to the semi-finals. Takes out the opposing captain. Shush has made it down secret. The bomb's going to reset. They don't want to risk a second player running into these USPs. And while Snappy gets entrenched at B, Heroic still have a difficult time of getting down there with no utility.
I'm really curious what cadiaN's going to request of Shush in this moment. How do they want to use him? It looks like they want to try and meet up with him by playing in through ramp. And that will at least allow Shush to try and manipulate some of these rotates if he can hold down the vents. So there are ways to make this interesting if you're Heroic.
They're really making it look like B.
They are making it. They're making it look like B, so much so that we even thought this was going B for a moment, but now straight up through the heavens, they're dropping in, trying to use that point man like a living decoy. He's just going slick with the movement. But it doesn't matter when Madden's got this many bullets to fire back your way. The pistol round dominantly found by ENCE. What a way to secure it. 5 alive when all is said and done. And that's in spite of the hard sell that Heroic tried to bring to the table down at lower. ENCE don't fall for it.
Yeah, nice shots. Those Julies are lethal on CT side Nuke, and Madden even sending a screen back their way. This is a guy who's been under fire for diminishing stats in the last 6 months of this year, but has been given a lot of credit by his teammates in playing difficult spots, unforgiving roles, and was vital for ENCE to make their run back in Dallas, to take their first Tier 1 trophy. Snappy's project finally paying off at the right time, and it could continue into the start of this season as well. A playoff berth for ENCE. And maybe semis in store. Snappy hears him running down on ramp. He's going to drop low. These smokes go outside, but ENCE are already heavy B. And again, a Heroic trying to pull the wool over ENCE's eyes as they recede from ramp back to the lobby. They've not done a bad job. 2 players on this top site is all ENCE have to say.
Madden is one of them, though, and he's having a great day in the office. He has been that kind of key piece for ENCE to bring them into the map. Only 1 kill from him, though, as the point man up on top of the hut. There's a bit of assistance raining in from main as a result of that missed smoke. And so even though Heroic will trade that out, cadiaN always a dead man, traded by dycha from the heavens. ENCE might have been lacking the manpower over towards that top site, but a missed main smoke, uncharacteristic of Heroic, not something you often attribute to this team. That really does screw them over in the round.
It's one you can brush off because the reason that round gets so complicated is just a piece of utility, and that's a simple fix. But it's also annoying because Heroic are right there, ready to find another force buy win. They won round 3 on the first half, and they're fancying their chances in the second. Stan with a hero AK gifted by Shush leaves him with nothing. A lot of reliance on the young rifle Star to save this round for Heroic.
And I think one of the big critiques has always been leveraged against Heroic was the lack of that real star by the time you go on a deep tournament run, having someone who is just head and shoulders, kind of lifting the team up.
A Zywoo, a Simple, a Nico.
And Stan's often been touted as the guy who can occupy that space for Heroic. He's come into this series looking to display that grit right now. They've given him the hero gun, but he's dinked immediately. He's sat up top of the board for the Danes. He's got to drop that gun over, and so cadiaN will be the next in line to the throne of the AK. Cut down in his prime. Sampaius ringing out from CT will not let them into the heavens, and he will trap them in the fires of hell. Sampaius lives on in Hades' name, and ENCE will secure a 10th.
That AK had magnets in it, man. The two players who pick it up get headshot first and foremost in Stown and cadiaN, the two players with armor, and they're gone in an instant. So it will have to be the gun round here for Heroic. ENCE looking good, though. As I said, they picked this map, but they had no fear that Heroic are more than keen to meet them, and that's a great sign for ENCE, who have such a monstrous streak on Nuke in the last 3 months. So have they done their homework? Certainly felt like it in the first half, right? Calling 3 timeouts after 10 rounds. Screamed that ENCE wanted more, that they'd found gaps, but they couldn't close rounds. Some of those late ramp hits from Snappy, walking through smokes, finding empty positions. There's definitely a read here for ENCE. Will that continue onto the CT side? Very strong on top side right now. With no smokes outside, there's no reason for ENCE to get bogged down in the unknown. You can hear Heroic in lobby, setting up, spamming walls. They seem expectant of this top hit. They might have a point.
Oh, the MP9s are starting to get curious, and madaN saw an arm. He'll take so much more out of the round than that. 1 kill offers the MP9. And even more where that came from. madaN in his element. This guy is thriving right now, right when ENCE needed him to deliver a performance like this. It was kind of madaN to get the ball rolling, and now around him you've got this really capable 3-man unit starting to appear. madaN up top of the board, dycha in just behind. These 2 topside players that have been playing it in tandem, that have been taking this out of the Heroic playbook. And then Sampaius just kind of rising up through the rankings quietly in the background. As that man who's going to be rotating around over towards the yard, it's important that he feels switched on.
Yeah, the vibe in ENCE is really good right now, and this has just been a team on the fringe of the conversation when it comes to Tier 1, right? Exploding in the the end of the first season of the year, and with a Pro League run, with a Dallas win, ENCE have started to take titles, and not too talked about in terms of how this is also one of the teams that kept their full roster over the player break, made no moves like the phases, like the G2s, like Heroic. But right now it's all paying off. Fantastic vibes. And, given Heroic's tendency to scream down their opponent, try and tilt that way, given what ENCE endured against 9 the other night, I don't think cadiaN's going to get in their head. madaN's got some choice words for him. And Heroic have a quick hit.
Yeah, they're going to go for another one of these topside plays, but it's always been a nice hold here for ENCE. They've not crumbled under this pressure just yet, and they're not about to start crumbling now. ENCE will keep shutting down these fast topside rushes every time Heroic go for them. And there's been a lot of the topside play from Heroic to open up this map. It's been their preferred way to try and play into the T side.
Yeah.
They might have felt good about it. It might have been something they've talked about before coming into this map, but ENCE are so quickly making you look for other solutions.
Heroic are digging at the bottom of the barrel. They're just coming out with dirty hands right now. No solutions. A fast one outside. There's an aggressive play. dycha does get killed by Stown, but that is a wholehearted, messy spray. Only just gets the kill over the line, and Sampaius is begging them to walk the smoke. Even then, he might spam them right through it. Shoot now. Somehow Stown dodges the bullets, but they were inevitable, and there's more where that came from. Sampaius lights him up outside. Somehow Yabi's in the A site, though. He's crept out. There's no one here. There's no one even looking. Sampaius could do all he wants outside, but they could lose just to the plant. It's about to come down.
They do look good to find TeSeS. It's whether or not he's ready for this swing out from Secret, but he has repositioned to deal with it.
Oh, what a check for Nerds.
If he finds TeSeS here.
Oh!
Suddenly the retake would be back on.
It still can
But a matter of meters might have betrayed this check on red, and Nerds, as a result, backstabbed. And with that kill, the round can't be attempted anymore. ENCE not in position to give this a go. It all hinged on Nerds committing to that walk up behind the red box. Sampaius,
cheeky boy,
moving into the heavens. Is this going to be a last-second retake?
This
is a last-second retake. Okay, they're going to give this a go. They still believe, even without Nerds. Snappy wanting to get a little weird with it, moves in through, and Shush will shut him up, shut them down. Heroic finally pull up with a round. A reminder that this series once sat 7-3 in Heroic's favor. It has been a long time since they've put one on the board. And they finally will there. An admirable attempt from Snappy's Heroic. That is a wild call for Snappy to bring out.
Yeah, and Yabi takes all the risks as well for Heroic. He just creeps out into A, not supplemented by any util. Those are some of the rounds ENCE were winning towards the end of their T side down on ramp. He finds that huge gap. And to think that just a few meters were all the difference for ENCE being favored in a retake there. Almost considering it, but not quite. Sampaius outside, and he's even got the AWP, having a fantastic game in what was, I'm sure, a historic event for him last year, his breakout tournament. He wants to do it again. Oh, careful. They make it secret. He didn't see that. Starting to concede angles, though. ENCE will consider that players can make it to lower just off of timings alone, and Nerds is going to start to move through. Heroic not in a hurry, and again, Yabi creeps out onto that top side, but is quickly traded. 4-on-3. Heroic have lost their point man. What can they do?
That was a wild move from Nerds, who got spotted going down the vent in the first place, only to then shoot back up it and get the trade. As a result of that move, it does mean that Stown has more room to work with down on this lower site, but Heroic just going to try and join up with him here. They might get this kill forced as Nerds has the swing. He's not given a second chance on this. And the path to cross at vent is now open. That kill from Sampaius finds cadiaN, but the bomb still makes it down. That's the real ticket here for Heroic. They join up with Stown, who's been down on this B site since the damn start of the round. Gonna need something out of Stown, and he does deliver the kill to allow this bomb to cross in.
Look at the flank. Oh, it's not even needed. Sampaius has picked him with the AWP and Stown. He can go for the pod, but his knife's out and dycha ends it just there in time. How do ENCE pick up these clutch rounds right now? It is so close. Heroic, B, don't stick the bomb. And they run out of opportunity. If Stown's gun is out, that can be a very different round, but dycha, element of surprise goes a long way. And Heroic, they're the ones who are hemorrhaging timeouts right now in this T side. One round to their name in the entire half.
And everything just feels so unsafe. Everything feels so uncertain. You know, these topside rushes that we saw Heroic try in back-to-back rounds early on, both getting shut down. And it wasn't even the case where, you know, you were left with a feeling that, oh, at least we were close. You know, there's a reason to go back for that. No, it's like they were getting hardcore lockdown out of the A play, usually at best, maybe getting 2 on the entry to try and get themselves in. But ENCE have shown that they can repel that now over towards the yard as Heroic look for salvation there. That's when they're running into the Sampaius and his trusty AWP.
We have really been seeing some risky CS play by Heroic in this game, just with some of the moves Yabi's been making on this T side, some of the gambles on CT, many of which paid off. Again, is Yabi going to look for an active lurk on ramp? If he does, he'll run into the AWP, and that should just be the killing blow for Sampaius. He has been rock solid on CT side. cadiaN, gap in the smoke. Did dycha see that? It's very close. It doesn't look like it. cadiaN creeps all the way through. He needs to clear the back of garage or climb up heaven. Madden jump spotting B. cadiaN in the prying eyes of dycha. If only he turned around. But there's a free AWP to find to open up the path for Yabi.
Oh, he's going to hold the shot. This is mad. cadiaN. cadiaN doesn't just want the one. cadiaN wants more out of this. Going to take the ramp kill. And cadiaN plays with their minds. Now they don't know where to look. They're chasing ghosts. How did he get there? No one on ENCE has any idea. And they're all looking down the line at dycha, wondering, how did he let them down? cadiaN finds a phenomenal timing and plays that perfectly. Looking to have saved the day for Heroic, even though one kill comes out from madden. The rest of ENCE are so uncertain and so shaken as a result of that play that they will not attempt this retake. The 3v4 save called in, and Heroic with the reply. It's really not uncommon to see cadiaN know in these make or break moments that he has got to be that guy at times. He puts a lot of faith in himself in these games.
And just reading that there's another player there, right? Sunpius is knife out running back from ramp, so cadiaN makes the perfect call. That means someone from B has come back up. Not only does it give Heroic room to further push Secret, but it allows cadiaN to take 2 kills. The risk of letting the AWP walk past him. You know, if those comms are quick, if that understanding's quick, Sunpius is round the corner. It's not like cadiaN can go bop, bop. He has to reposition to take both kills. He makes it look easy, but that's such a risky play. Not one that everyone would go for, but at this time in the game, Heroic getting desperate.
The thing that's so wild is like how many variables just are outside of cadiaN's control there, right? Like, as you're kind of highlighting, he can't just turn around and bop them both. Sunpius might not have walked his way. On top of that, Sunpius could have turned around at any moment and gone to reinforce ramp.
I think he saw him on the garage roof there as well. Sunpius has to drop off. He can be naded, he can be pre-aimed. So Stown gets behind main instead this round. Again, looking for the A pick is Yabi. To differing degrees of success has this door lurk appeared for Heroic. And it's one that ENCE will remain vigilant of. Madam with a Molotov. Don't go through Yabi, although nothing's guaranteed. He looks curious. They're hoping ENCE make a move, and if that's not the case, Heroic's hand will be forced into an A split. Stown's timing through main is extremely important, but Sunpius has a very good position with his AWP.
Heroic look to go over into the A play, but they lose that main wrap. They lose Stown. Sunpius is given free reign on the long sight lines outside, and so plan is to change here. Heroic, this might not have been the intention, but they're looking for the kill that gets them out ramp. Awkward as everyone had their knife pulled there. That's why the trade's a little delayed. TeSeS will lock it in at least, but down at the back of the B side, dycha's been waiting patiently for his chance to play into the round. And there it is, signed, sealed, and delivered by dycha. It's ENCE with the response, and for Heroic, what a wild round that must have felt like. Put yourself in their shoes. It felt like everywhere they went, ENCE were one step ahead.
Yeah.
I can't believe that ENCE never at any moment dismantled that lower B hold. You're getting so many signs that that's the A split. It's so telegraphed. And yet they stick to their guns. dycha believes in the call.
Yeah, he recovered a really ugly spray as well. He gets spotted, and he can't get the shots off connecting, and he gets 2 repeats and wins both of them out with Heroic have him trapped in a corner. So that was really nice for dycha. It could have gone very wrong and given Heroic a way back into a 2-on-4. It looked like they were starting to wake up to it. cadiaN lucky to be alive. Sunpius back garage again with the AWP, but Heroic are happy to hear that. They know they can run down B. Once again, ENCE have the numbers in lower. Heroic again giving themselves get out clauses with players still on that top side. Doors getting swung, trying to beat the timings. But they don't know there's a crossfire in play here. Committing could be a death sentence. And they're only 3 strong. I like the routing.
Awkward spray for Nerds. He just tries to commit, but now they don't know about Snappy on the midi ramp. Oh, there's one, but he can't finish off TeSeS. Gonna take dycha moving in with a nade to do it. madden's going to catch cadiaN as he dry walks the smoke over on upper, and now this bomb is committed down to the lower site. Yabi's still a little ways out, but he will rejoin with his teammate here. Him and Stan trying to collect themselves, trying to win this a man down, but it all falls to Stown, and dycha is unrelenting. His rotates down towards lower have put such a block in the plans of Heroic, such a roadblock there every time they've tried to play down into that B site. It feels like dycha's been good for a multi-kill. He's been very heads up with some of these early rotates from the ramp. And so everyone right now for ENCE feels invincible. You're just having one player per site that is excelling in their roles, whether that's some pious outside, harassing with the AWP. You've seen dycha kind of swap that out on a whim based on when the AWP wants to start ramp. dycha excelling wherever they've put him, and those B rotates in the retaker have looked fantastic. And then madaN, as the guy who kind of kick-started this for ENCE in the first place, has felt like a rock.
Yeah, this is a sloppy game from Heroic with a lot of contacting, a lot of smoke pushing, and you know, often that works out for Heroic, but you're seeing the ugly side of when it doesn't.
And early on in this game, I think one thing that was getting me very excited was how drilled and how like switched on stavn was looking. He came into this second half with 17 kills. Yeah. He's now sat at 21, and the game's about to be over. He has hit a brick wall since getting onto this T side.
Well, they're going for quick A yet again. Often it's just been 1-for-1 for Yabi. He will survive this time as he backs out of the Molotov. And Heroic, they again go through the smoke. cadiaN very deep, or TeSeS rather, he dies. dycha must drop in. They can bail, they can drop into B, and they might have to right now as Sampires picks him from afar. He finds one. dycha back of the site gone, and a bomb plant option opened, but the cover, can you really have faith in it? Yabi is so low. Snappy checks right below him right now. It's a free kill. Instead, he waits on the flank. Sampires from outside to ramp back to lobby.
One of the dual Berettas. He's about to face the one man with HP. It's just right here, so this has got to be a dink, and it isn't. Sampires falls, and Yabi will hold down the heavens with all his might. Low on HP. He does well to deny Snappy's entry into that retake.
Heroic finally commit to an A play. How many of these rounds have they, gotten a player out A, gotten a pick, been traded, and just had to desperately run ramp into, either Snappy close ramp, the AWP quick rotating, or dycha's pre-rotate B. It's, as you said, it feels like ENCE have been absolutely everywhere. They've had Heroic's read every round, and even if these aren't calls out of spawn, ENCE know what's up. They're going to have to full eco now. Even then, Nerds is full broken on 1400. Good read of the economy. Heroic go for a vent dive, and that should just be the round. Just how expensive can ENCE make it?
I've been so impressed with dycha across this map, man. He really has been Mr. Worldwide for ENCE. It feels like you've had him towards the top rafters on A. Oh my God, are they going to get the AWP out of this?
Big.
That is a huge win if you're ENCE. madaN, the
yet.
save's not guaranteed yet. Yabi is right here, and he will remove that AWP. It's a cadiaN's misstep over towards outside. Will not see that AWP put in Sampires' hands. And that would have been the route to have one for ENCE. That was a real gift for them out in the yard. But in this instance, it's just poison. Heroic up on a 12.
Oh, ENCE aren't out of the woods yet. And yeah, they know it. Timeout called immediately into another crucial gun round. They essentially have 2 4-buys here on the CT side. Just got to try and stay calm. Stay composed at this point. Because ENCE have had the answers on CT. The anchors have been rock solid. dycha down lower. madaN on this top side, like you've been saying. Put on some incredible rounds. Sampires, he's not been too floaty with the AWP. He's kind of been anchoring his positions more often than not back of garage or playing CT.
Yeah, it's wild.
He's been hitting his shots.
That's why I kind of homed in on dycha, right? Because it's normally not uncommon to see the AWP really given freedom to roam. Instead, it's been like dycha in that kind of rotatey, floaty side of Nuke, being the one to switch out with Sampires whenever he looks for position changes, being the one to be that first point of rotation, whether it's down B or up towards the top side. And he's delivered on all fields. He's on a different battlefield every time he's in these fights. He's not getting accustomed to one spot and how they're playing there. So it is super impressive, the mileage they've gotten out of him so far. This is another one of these rounds where dycha's going to go rotating down into the B site, and Sampires is posted with the AWP at ramp.
He's in a dangerous spot, but yeah, he climbs up over, giving him the option to drop out. Not on this side, though. Going to be a little harder for Sampires to reposition. Takes 1 kill, jumps back in for more, and Sampires burns out their eyes. Bomb dropped to the front of ramp. This is a disaster for Heroic. It may be their final hurrah.
Man, when you're having to smoke the bomb like this and make moves just to get it back,
No
that
way.
speaks volumes as to where you're at in the round. But cadiaN will make make it work. He does regain control over the bomb. Now they've got to believe in their ability to pull this one back in the 3v4. Stown has advanced positioning outside, and so they're going to give him room to work his magic.
It's all on Stown just to gain position here. Heroic are waiting for him. That bomb's even gone outside, possibly to avoid a lobby crunch right now. ENCE know there are numbers here. They saw Shush try to make a play outdoor. The seconds have been bought, but Nertz is staying vigilant. Back of the bomb site, staring straight up.
There shouldn't be a world where Stown lives this. There shouldn't be a world where he can get past Nertz, and so it's just cadiaN. 1 kill from the man at the helm of Heroic. But he can't take this any further. 20 seconds. ENCE know where he was. They know where he can get to in this time. And so as tricky as cadiaN tries to make it, expecting a 1v3 from him here, it's too much. Nertz dead, back of the site.
No.
cadiaN drops in, tap on the bomb, but they swing him. cadiaN with another, and the last man, it's Snappy, about to go brain for brain, IGL for IGL, and he'll lock cadiaN out of that clutch attempt. ENCE pick up the map. They turn this around from being on the back foot, and they now move 1 map closer to a semi-final berth at IEM Cologne.